Hey there, I am here to show you a Walmart teacher supply haul. It was tax-free weekend this weekend, so I took advantage of it and got some things that I want my students to have for the classroom or for at-home learning, and then some of my favorite things to have for my lessons. So got several things to show you, so we're going to go ahead and get started. All of these items are from Walmart. I'll start with, I picked up 5 packs of crayons. I picked these up for students who may not be able to buy their own supplies. I mentioned in my Dollar Tree haul video that I like to have 4 to 5 sets of supplies for my students going in to make sure that everyone begins the year with what they need. So I picked up 5 packs of crayons for my students, or if I need them throughout the year. These Sharpie pens are my favorite pens for interactive notebooks, just because I use a lot of markers for outlines and different things like that. But these are a little bit smaller tip than a marker, but they show up really well under my document camera. So that's why I went ahead and picked these up. These are my favorite pens. Picked up a couple of packs of the skinny markers. Now our students have the broad tip markers on their supply list. But I like the skinny markers to use under the document camera for my interactive notebooks. I just feel like they look a little neater and a little cleaner, and it's easier for the students to read for those. All right, speaking of the broad tip markers, I did pick up 5 packs of these. I maybe should have picked up a couple more because our student supply list had 2 boxes of markers. And I'll go ahead and say that I'm going back to a school that I was at for many years before. I left that school, was at a different place as a reading specialist the last 2 years. So the supply list that the students have this year, I didn't have any input on. It was already taken care of before I came. So there are a couple things that I would do a little bit different, but we're going to talk about that a little bit more in the video. But anyway, I picked up 5 packs of these markers to go along with their supplies. I'll go ahead and show. So the kids have pencil boxes on their supply list. I personally loathe pencil boxes. They fall off the desk constantly, and every time they fall off, they explode. Everything falls out of them. So what my team teacher and I have decided, and I will, let me see it, I've got it here somewhere. We have decided, we purchased these pencil bags for each of our students. We're starting with 20 of everything that we're going to purchase that's not on the supply list, but we prefer to have. So I started with 20 of these. Our students are going to put their at-school supplies in these, and we are going to put a command hook on the sides of our desks, and they're going to hang their bag on the side of their desk so that we don't have to deal with going in desks and out of desks and all that. So we purchased a class set of these, well, 20. I don't know how many kids we're going to have traditionally, but I'm starting with 20 for everything. So we bought these, but we were looking for a use for these pencil boxes. And so what we're going to do, I got this idea from the Kindergarten Smorgasbord. We are going to use their pencil boxes as an at-home supply kit. In the event that we were to begin with some kind of hybrid or traditional model, and then all of our students had to go home, the kids who have their supplies at school, and these are also going to have, we are going to stock these the first day. Some things from their supply list and some things that we're going to provide. And we're going to have them take this home so that if last minute we go back home and we don't come back, our students are going to have things like markers, they're going to have pencils, they're going to have a glue stick, a pencil sharpener, very basic supplies, so they will get some use out of these pencil boxes. It just won't be at school. So, and I mentioned that they have 2 packs of markers on their supply list. So what we're going to do is one of these packs of markers is going to go in their home supplies, and then the other pack of markers is going to be in their bag that we are providing for them for their supplies at school. So I hope that makes sense. A lot of these things I picked up several of them, and I'm just going to tell you how many I picked up, but I'm only going to show one. I got some cap erasers. As a math and science teacher, my students tend to erase a lot. We make a lot of corrections and different things. And I know for my son, the eraser on a pencil is gone long before the actual pencil is gone. So I think I picked up 5 or 6 packs of these, and there's 25 in each. So I'm going to send 4 or 5 erasers home in their take-home box as well. Also from Walmart, I picked up a couple packs of graph paper. I use this in math for addition, subtraction, multi-digit multiplication, and then division outside of basic fact division. So anything with a remainder, or anything that is not just a basic fact, like 144 divided by 12. We use graph paper, and that helps my students line up their problems correctly. So I have some of this at school, but I did go ahead and pick up 2 packs of this, and I am sending home a math toolkit. I'm going to send that, I'm going to drop it off to my students who are remote, but I'm also going to send it home with any students that I have face-to-face, so that they have some access to some graph paper. They may need a little bit more. I may have to do a second drop-off later on in the year, but I thought this would at least get us started. I also cut pieces of the graph paper from time to time for an interactive notebook entry when I'm showing them how to use the graph paper for the different operational problems. So, I'm going to put a little bit of graph paper in their toolkit. General things, guys. I picked up folders. Our supply list has 5 different colored folders for each student. So I have 5 sets of all 5 colors for any students who may need that. Something else that I do, I always choose one color folder that is not on their supply list. This year, I got black folders. And I actually bought 30 just to make sure that I had everything and didn't have to go find anything else. But I use those folders for the report card and progress report folders. And I use a different color so that it's easy to see if it is on my desk or on the counter or whatever. I immediately know, hey, that's a report card folder. I need to grab that. I need to file that or whatever. So I did get those as well. And then I got a few extra folders for myself. I got the kids the paper folders for extra supplies. I normally buy myself the poly folders to keep my own interactive notebook that kids can refer back to. Just because mine, I want to make sure that it stays intact. We use a lot of duct tape toward the end of the year to keep these together, but they still last throughout the year. I've only had just a handful of times in my many years of teaching that I've had to completely replace the folder. So, got lots of folders. I got 8 or 10 packs of notebook paper. Once again, 5 of those packs will be for students who need supplies, and then 3 more just to have, because you always need more notebook paper. And I may actually go back and get some more because I just want to make sure that my kids are taken care of. And I know that right now some families are struggling who have never struggled before to be able to afford school supplies. So I'm happy to provide them with those supplies that they need to be successful. All right. One subject notebooks. These are not on our supply list. Our kids, there were 3 subject spiral notebooks on our list. My teaching partner loves spiral notebooks. She wanted those. I said, great, because I don't like spirals. But I do like these one subject. I do something called a Friday journal, and I saw this idea, I think, on Pinterest 100 years ago. But I just buy each student a one subject notebook, and this is a Friday journal. And what we do on Friday, at some point in the day, it's usually late in the day on Friday when we're packing up and getting ready, we write a paragraph to whatever caregiver they are going to be with for the weekend. If they're going to be with mom, or if they're going to be with dad or grandparents, or if one of their favorite cousins is coming into town that weekend, they can write to anybody that they're going to see that weekend. We put the date on it, dear whomever, and we brainstorm ideas on the board of what we studied that week. I do ask that everything is academic, except they can pick one thing that is non-academic, like if, they made a new friend this week, they can include that. But we try to include the things that we did that are school related that week, and they say love their name. And the expectation is that whomever they wrote to writes them back in the journal. I will also accept just an initial. I just want somebody at home to see that they're showing them what we've done this week. I love this because my son constantly tells me when I say, what did you do at school today? Nothing. This lets the parents know. This opens up a conversation for the weekend of some specific things that we did that the students can relate to their parents instead of nothing. The way I reward this is if you bring it back with an initial, with a signature, anything like that, I put 1 sticker per week on the cover. And by the end of the year, if they've done a pretty good job of bringing their Friday journal back signed, or if someone has responded, they love it as it fills up and the whole cover is full. So that is just something that the kids love, the parents love it. So for, 10 or 15 cents per notebook, it is a worthy investment to send a Friday journal home with your students. So love the Friday journal. The next thing that I got at Walmart, they just had these nameplates. There are 24 in this pack. They're fairly simple, but I did not have any nameplates. That's something that it slipped my mind to get, and my room has a lot of this turquoise in it. I thought, for $1, let me go ahead and just pick these up. So I grabbed those. For my boards in my room, for erasers, I don't love the actual whiteboard erasers. Once you use them for a little while, they leave that gritty black speckles on your hands or on anything that they touch. So in years past, I've gone to Dollar Tree and I have gotten the car washing mitts, and I loved those. The only thing I did not like about those is that they didn't have a little loop to hang them anywhere. So I either had to snip a hole in them or something to be able to hang them close to the board. So this year I was at Walmart and I found these are terry cloth pot holders. And they came to a pack, and I want to say these were like $2.50, so comparable to the Dollar Tree car washing mitts. But I love these, that they're terry cloth. To me, that's a little bit better of an eraser anyway, and also machine washable, machine dryable. I know these will hold up, so I went ahead and picked up a pack of those because I actually have 2 whiteboards in my room. So I'm going to use pot holders for my board erasers. I've seen several people who have seen at Target Dollar Spot, they have the little felt erasers for whiteboards that fit on the kids' fingers. Well, I went to Target because I thought, because we're trying to do individualized supplies. So I went to the Bullseye Playground, nothing. I went to another Target, nothing. They did not have them. And I thought, but I really like that idea. I want to figure out how to do it. So when I was at Walmart, I had to pick up some magnets for a different project that I was doing, and I was in a craft aisle, and I happened to look down and I saw just the pieces of felt. I want to say they were 27 cents for one piece of felt that's like the size of paper, 8.5 by 11-ish. I grabbed several of those. I cut them into 6 pieces, used a little hot glue, folded it over, and I have my own dry erase felt erasers, and I got 6 for 27 cents. Now I bought 6 sheets, so I actually have 36 of these total. I'm probably going to go back and get a couple more sheets because I wasn't thinking when I did it. I was thinking about, I want a class set, and then I want a few extras in case they get gross or they get lost or whatever. I can just put them in the trash can. But that's not going to be enough to have a set at school and then for the kids to have them at home as well, because I am going to send them an expo marker. So I'm going to have to get a couple more of these, but 27 cents for 6 erasers, can't beat it. So got that. This is just for me. I actually picked up 2 of these. These are just document folders, and I love these because they're the zip ones. I don't love the snap because I feel like the flap kind of goes wonky, and I don't love the snap ones. But how cute is that leopard? They are like a poly material, and these were less than $1.50. I want to say it was either $1.24 or $1.47 or $1.17. They were less than $1.50. So I got 2 because one was just not good enough when they were this cute. So I got 2 of these. I love it. So speaking of other things that are not on the supply list that I feel like my students need for their executive functions, for organization and things like that, I feel like our children need a binder. So since this wasn't on the supply list, I got this pack. It's the Wal-Mart Pen and Gear. This is a 4-pack. And it's the D ring, which I love the D ring. I wish they didn't make the circle rings anymore. I just don't like that they won't lay flat. But anyway, 4 binders was $5.50-ish, give or take a few pennies. So I did buy 20 of these because I want my kids to have binders. Our school provides a homework planner, and it is 3-hole punch. It's spiral, but it's 3-hole punch. I like the planner to go in the binder. I like the return to school, the keep at home in the pockets, and especially this year, I want to provide a mobile whiteboard. I think I'm just going to do graph paper and notebook paper back to back and laminate and hole punch. And so they're going to keep their personal whiteboard in their binder with them all the time, and possibly a math toolkit or something like that. But I just feel like the kids need the binder for one place to keep all of the papers and information going back and forth to school. So I purchased the binders. The next thing that I got, I found these water bottles. And these are the ones, this middle part screws out and you can put it in the freezer, and then you screw it back in and it keeps everything cool. These are the Cool Gear brand. I want to say these run normally $5 or $6 each. I got these because I found them on clearance for 50 cents each. So I got 14 of them because that was all they had. Now, the reason I got so many, first of all, I'm teaching summer reading camp, and I'm going to use these as an end of camp prize or present or whatever for finishing camp. And I'm going to say something like, summer camp was cool with you, or something like that. But I also picked up all the rest that I could find because our students will not be using water fountains this year. And so I know that we will have some kids whose parents will not send a water bottle, whether it's just a bottle of Deer Park every day or a water bottle like this. So I'm going to have those in my room for those students who don't ever have a water bottle, and I'll put their name on it in Sharpie or something like that so that they'll be able to have a water bottle too. But anyway, there were several designs. This was the only boy design they had. It's like camo and orange and blue. They had several girl designs. This one has the little puppy dogs on it. This one has seashells inside. And this one, this is probably my favorite, it has flamingos on the inside. So I picked those up, got several uses for those already. And going along with those water bottles, so if you guys do not know, I got this idea from a special ed teacher at the school that I was just at. You will be amazed at what your students will do for one Skittle at a time. This is my entire classroom management reward system for my summer camp, where I have kids who are between kindergarten and first grade. I have gone through, I don't know, maybe a pack and a half total of Skittles, not this size, like a regular size that you would buy at the gas station, in 2 full weeks of summer camp. So it doesn't take much. They are super cost effective. I did go ahead and buy this big bag because as part of my summer camp kids end of camp gift, since we've used these Skittles so much and they know that that's part of, you know, their reward when they work really hard, I'm going to fill the bottles with Skittles for them. So, and I will also have Skittles left over to use in my classroom next year. Okay. All right. Last part of this Walmart haul. I can't believe it's been this long. The last part. No, hear me out before you judge. All right. So this is an 8-pound bag of pinto beans. Okay. This 8-pound bag of pinto beans was $6, maybe a little less, maybe a couple cents less, maybe $5.98. And I am going to use these for every student in whether virtual, whether traditional, my homeroom, my partner's homeroom. I'm going to use these beans for counters that the kids can keep at home. I was looking for a way to provide them with some sort of math manipulative that was affordable, because I feel like, I mean, we know when the supplies go home, I don't know if they're going to come back or not. And it's just going to have to be okay. So I didn't want to completely deplete the actual manipulatives that I have in my classroom, like the foam type manipulatives. But I was trying to figure out how I could repurchase enough counters. And being a 4th grade teacher, I want to have at least 100 counters for each one of my students, because when we do multiplication, I want us to be able to do arrays with larger numbers than like 4 times 5. Like, I need more than 20 counters. And also for division, when we get to, because the only thing that they've seen before they get to me, for the most part, is division within basic facts. So like 12 divided by 4 with no remainder, and they're not larger numbers. But when they get to me, we have to do those equal groups and see what's left over. And we get into multi-digit. So I wanted to make sure that I had a way to provide each student with a lot of counters, so that if they needed that support after we've gotten into the lesson, they would have enough counters to continue to use that strategy until they were ready to break away from it. So, 8-pound bag of pinto beans, and what I'm going to do is just separate these out. I'm not going to be counting. I'm going to measure out one about what 100 looks like in a Ziploc bag, and then I'm just going to dump handfuls in them. And I will let you know how it works. I think it will work well. I've used lima beans as manipulatives in kindergarten because they're a little bigger and they're safe. You know, if a student puts it in their mouth, it's not going to make them sick. It's not going to taste good, but it's not going to make them sick, anything like that. And also cheap, so if they fall on the floor or they break or get lost or whatever. Another thing with this is if they lose some, Most people have beans of some kind in their house, and if they don't, I can just let them know, honey, you can use anything. You can use paper clips. But I want to send home as much as I can so that we are not asking parents to make unnecessary trips to the store or to purchase any more items than absolutely necessary, because I know it's a tough time. So this is my gigantic tax-free weekend haul from Walmart. I hope that you were able to take away some ideas, some things that you might want to use with your own child or with your class, with your students. Let me know in the comments if you have any other ideas for the things that I've shown. I would love to know your ideas as well, or if something was particularly helpful, be sure to let me know. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.